Artificial intelligence is making software development nearly free. But instead of perfectly solving user problems, enterprise teams mass-produce useless tools faster than ever. The enterprise bottleneck didn't disappear with AI, it simply moved. We no longer lack engineering capacity, we lack product judgment, the discipline to interpret evidence and know how to say no without losing velocity. To protect themselves, corporate boards rely on a safety blanket: the human in the loop. The operating theory is that if human intuition guides the AI's output, we will avoid building products based on hallucinations. But those human engineers are institutionally forced to make decisions based on statistical averages. In physical reality, the average is always wrong. To get a $20 million capital expenditure budget approved by a CFO, a product leader cannot rely on a hunch. They must mathematically justify their roadmap. To prove scale, teams construct an average user persona. This is the justification trap, inventing a ledger ghost to secure funding. Then they multiply that ghost by a target population to calculate their total addressable market, or TAM. The math looks flawless on paper, but multiplying a statistical ghost by 10 million does not yield a real market. The result is a scaled hallucination, a market that aligns with a boardroom spreadsheet but is non-existent in physical reality. When that perfectly engineered feature finally hits the physical world, adoption flatlines almost immediately. To force this ghost market to materialize, the enterprise must burn massive amounts of defensive capital. They deploy hyperinflated customer acquisition costs and risk hedges to prop up the original prediction. Corporate analytics rely on digital footprints, representing just the 14% of the market with clean histories. The remaining 86% are real people under heavy physical constraints: ratepayers absorbing energy spikes, caregivers in debt, variables your dashboard simply cannot see. Companies bleed millions in defensive capital, trying to force these multidimensional, physically strained humans to behave like that small 14% statistical phantom. Product management is blamed for a failure actually originating in our 30-year-old global technological infrastructure. Our planetary substrate is only 2/3 built. Layer 1 moves the atoms, fiber optics, concrete, and energy grids. Layer 2 routes information, algorithms, HTTP, and product analytics. Neither layer verifies if a market exists in physical reality. Without that grounding, the speed of agentic AI only accelerates us toward a hallucinated collapse. We cannot fix this with better analytics dashboards. We must build the missing third of the planetary substrate. Layer 3, the completion layer. Layer 3 replaces statistical guessing with attested demand. Instead of estimating potential, the system mathematically verifies what a market can actually support. Enterprises stop running isolated software pilots. They ignite local calibration hubs to establish a mathematically closed market for AI from day one. Instead of a 90-day autopsy, a 15-day verification loop securely queries the living substrate for actual user capacity before code is written. A circuit forms between enterprise and edge. Phones, hospitals, and grids independently validate capacity, returning a cryptographic truth to the center. The circuit only closes when both the origin and the entity hit 67% consensus. This multi-verification destroys raw data, leaving only the verified pattern behind. Because the demand is mathematically attested, capital can be redirected with precision. This allows the board to authorize budgets without the massive wasted buffers usually required to prop up unverified products. In an era where AI makes built-in software effortless, the constraint moves entirely to judgment. Justifying massive capital expenditures without a mathematically scaled ground truth constitutes a breach of